is awesome. I just got this yesterday. It's Strandberg's new Boden Essential. Wasn't sure what to expect with it when I ordered it. I've never played a Strandberg before. I was always curious about their Enduro neck. Yeah, for those that don't know, or have never seen or played a Strandberg, yeah, it's got this this asymmetrical neck carve on it that is not like anything I've ever played before. You know, nothing like your traditional like C-shaped or U-shaped or D-shaped necks. Yeah, you've kind of got this completely flat section that moves, starting, you know, starts here and then kind of moves down there to the higher frets. And I guess it makes sense, you know, for when you're chording, where your thumb would be versus where your thumb would be for doing solo work. But again, I'd never played you know, Strandberg guitar in my life. I have owned other headless guitars in the past. I've had a couple of Steinbergers. There's a couple guitars over there that are made from kits, and then I had a luthier on AliExpress make me a 7-string headless that was from a looks perspective, it wasn't too dissimilar from a Strandberg, but the neck did not have this this asymmetrical pattern on it. But yeah, I was incredibly and pleasantly surprised when I got this yesterday. I've had this less than 24 hours, and I kind of just wanted to make a initial review because I didn't see too many videos out there on the Boden Essential. You know, I saw the typical press stuff that came out a couple months back, I think when pre-orders opened up for this guitar, but I haven't seen too many user reviews. I'm assuming because they probably just getting into hands like myself right now. But yeah, so having played the guitar for you know, like I said, less than 24 hours, I wanted to give my initial thoughts when I got it out of the box and the gig bag. I've already done a string change. I'm glad I did because it kind of gave me some additional perspective on, you know, how easy it is to kind of set this guitar up. It did ship with a set of 10 to 46 strings. I believe they were the Diodario NYXLs, which I do like, but I'll kind of get into something that kind of let me down a little bit when I first started playing it. But yeah, string. So I've already done the string change. It kind of gave me a look into what the hardware is on this guitar, because again, this is supposed to be the quote unquote like entry level Strandberg. You know, obviously some guitars in their range go up into like $5,000-6,000. You know, so even the Indonesian made guitars, which this is, they can still be pretty pricey. You know, the regular Boden and some of the other stuff, you know, they can easily be $2,000, etc. Made a video a few weeks back, kind of going through my collection, and I can't say that I've had the best experience with Indonesian made guitars, you know, versus, you know, maybe their Korean counterparts. I've always preferred, you know, the Korean made stuff, especially now. It's like they've nailed it down, where the quality is exceptional. A big fan of like ESP and LTD guitars, and you know, even ESP, they've kind of started moving, you know, some of their high-end production away from Korea to Indonesia. And yeah, I do have a Viper LTD Viper baritone. I think it was part of their black metal series. You know, more high-end LTD, and that was made in Indonesia, and that was pretty good, to be honest. Fretwork probably was a little bit of a letdown, but in terms of the craftsmanship, you know, the rest of the guitar was solidly built. I mean, it is a pretty simple guitar with one pickup, but yeah. So I wasn't sure what to expect when I picked this Strandberg up, because it is made in Indonesia, and I gotta say, this is the most well put together Indonesian made guitar I've ever played. The craftsmanship, especially on the neck, is impeccable. It's got stainless steel frets on it, and no fret sprout whatsoever. And the just the fit and finish on the neck. It's this this beautiful roasted piece of wood, and yeah, the body is made out of a wood that I had not heard about before, and of course I had it up my computer. It was something with an M. It was let me see if I get my, there we go. Meranti. It looks like it originates from Southeast Asia, but never heard of it. And that's what the body's made out of. Let me see the neck. Yeah, it's roasted maple. Again with stainless steel frets, and yeah, I think they got like luminlay dots above the side and the fret, the glow in the dark. But yeah, I was blown away, especially for the price point. I think this hits well above its weight in terms of quality. I played the guitar many hours last night, and yeah, again, I wasn't sure what to expect from this Enduro neck, but it's amazing. I didn't know whether, again, it was going to take me, week to get used to it, a couple weeks to get acclimated, but not at all. I think it's one of the most comfortable necks I've ever played in my life, and that's due in no small part, in my opinion, to the craftsmanship. It's just super comfortable. Again, no sharp fret ends. The stainless steel frets feel amazing when playing it. Yeah, just I gravitated to the color. I think the roasted maple neck and the red. I think this was the best looking color. I think it was called like Astro something or other. Where was it? Let's see. Astro Dust. The other two colors, I think there was a strandberg.com exclusive called Elemental Blue, and then there was a black granite with just a matte black finish. These three guitars, like obviously to cut down cost, they are all matte finishes, but I think it looks amazing. Yeah, the pickups, I'm not quite sure how I feel about them yet. I certainly don't think they're garbage by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not too familiar with Boden pickups. I did have a look at some of the other models, and I'm not quite sure if these were proprietary just for this model. It says Bridge Series humbucking. Let's see, okay, so that's this. It's Strandberg custom OEM neck humbucker and a bridge humbucker. So it doesn't really go into any specifics other than they are just OEM Strandberg humbuckers. But yeah, I'm not sure. I've got my amps and my headrush unit down here, the gig board. It's set up. Most of the guitars I have are active pickups, either Fishman Fluence or EMGs. So I'm not sure if some of the custom patches that I've made, they're just not, playing nice with these passive pickups. But again, I don't think, I played mostly last night through my my Spark amp, and I thought it sounded good. But I'll probably have to kind of do some work on trying to extract the most out of these pickups. But yeah, I certainly wasn't running to swap them out, or immediately saying, oh god, I'm going to ditch these and go with a set of Fishman Fluences, or a Seymour Duncan JB 59 set, or whatever your preference would be. But yeah, I'll keep on working with them. I don't think they're unusable. I did notice a huge drop in volume with the neck pickup. Let me see. So if I go, that's the bridge, and it's. I mean, obviously it does sound a lot brighter, but I think there's a noticeable drop in volume. But yeah, again, typically, if I was going to be playing, some chord stuff, I'd probably be on the neck pickup anyway. And if I was going to switch to, playing, some either, leads or, some crunchier stuff, yeah, I probably would go to the neck pickup, and maybe that would lend itself to having, higher output. on the bridge pickup. But other than that, the I know I've gone on singing my praises, especially about the fit and finish about it. Some of the things that I would say were negative for me was the G string kept on slipping. I wasn't sure what was going on. Yeah, I would play do some bends on the G string, and it was just slipping. It would go down to F sharp pretty quickly, and then start dropping further and further. And I was like, oh, but I mean, what's going on with that? So it kind of led me to better understand the hardware on the guitar. So obviously, with the bridge, it is a fixed bridge, which I'm actually really happy about. And just really quick, I think one of the other things that really, other than the price, and trying to get into the world of Strandberg, I was super glad that all the specs really spoke to me. Didn't really need fan frets on it, and I was happy that this was essentially a hardtail bridge versus tremolo unit. But yeah, so essentially you will rotate these counterclockwise to kind of lessen or the slack on the string. Then it goes up to this locking nut where you just use an Allen key to undo the bolt that goes down into the actual locking mechanism, and it holds the string. So you don't need to buy, if you are an owner or familiar with Steinberger guitars, where you need to get double ball and strings. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just buy a traditional set of strings, and you essentially feed the string through the bridge, and then it comes up through here onto the actual bridge where you rest your hand on, and then you just feed it through the locking nut and then bolt it down, and then you would rotate the machine heads at the bottom clockwise to introduce tension on the strings. So here's what happened last night. So obviously I was saying that the G string kept on slipping. Obviously not good. You don't want to play a guitar that's out of tune. So what I did was, again, not too familiar with the system, I did read the manual slightly, and it was just to change the string, just rotate it, counterclockwise until you get some slag, and then loosen it here. This is, I think, where I started having a couple issues with maybe the design on the bridge and the locking nut up there. Essentially, there's a lot of small pieces that can be easily lost. So if I show you right here, okay, so looking at this piece obviously rotates. Now in between the metal, I don't know what you want to call it, machine head, there is looks like a small plastic washer. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's made out of some proprietary like anti-friction material, but there's a washer, and then there's another plastic piece that almost looks like a top hat that essentially, I'll try and point this out with my pick if I can. So you got the machine head, then you got a small, maybe it's Delrin washer, and then you've got this top hat piece here that goes into the actual metal bridge. So when loosening it, there's no stop where it wouldn't allow you to stop rotation to avoid all the small pieces from falling out if you did take the machine head all the way, or the tuning piece all the way off, because what happened was I took it off, and then the string kind of like went forward, pulling the internal thread that the string goes through forward, and then causing the Delrin O-ring or washer to fall on the floor, and then the top hat piece also fell out. And that little Delrin or plastic washer is really tiny, and it'd probably be super easy to lose. So it would have been nice if there was some mechanism within the bridge to prevent that happening, but it is what it is. And then the second thing that really frustrated me was when you thread the string through, it has a tendency the just to hit right here and not actually go up. So you would need a tool to kind of pull it up. I found that if you, when pulling, it'd be easier to show you right here. When pulling the mechanism out with the screw that the string goes in, it kind of comes out a little bit further. And if you kind of pull it down, it angles the string up to kind of clear where the little string posts are on the bridge. But it wasn't like 100% of the time where that was, it was, it worked out that way. So yeah, a little bit. I wish there was something that kind of moved the string or guided the string up a little bit better over the bridge. And then I think the third thing, in terms of changing the strings that I think was the worst was, and I'm not sure if this was just my guitar or all of them will have this, was essentially underneath each of these Allen bolts that you will tighten down, where so basically essentially the string goes through. There is a traditional nut on this guitar, and it kind of goes into the locking mechanism. But if you look closely, it angles down. It might have to do something with the brake angle, maybe for tuning stability or sustain. But there is a brake angle that kind of goes down, so it's not just going straight into the locking nut, but it goes down. And inside here, if you were to remove the nut, you would be able to see the string obviously passing through it, and it goes through to the other end. There is a small metal disc that rests at the bottom of the recess that the locking bolt goes in. So at the very bottom, there should be the small metal disc. Then your string should be on top of that metal disc, and then the locking bolt that comes down that you screw with the hex key. I think the design was that the string gets crimped in between the bolt and that little metal disc at the bottom. The issue is when you try to thread the string through, because of that brake angle where the string is not going straight through the locking nut, it kind of angles down. So it forces the string to come into contact with that metal disc, which was not glued down. It just sits at the bottom. But half the time when I was threading the strings through the locking nut, they were going underneath that metal disc. So and kind of pushing the disc up, and then you've just got the string against essentially I think there was a screw at the bottom, and then you can see a little bit of wood. But I don't think that's the way it was designed. I think it was your string is supposed to be, like I said, crimped in between the two pieces of metal with the bolt and that metal disc at the bottom. But like half the time you try and thread it through, and it's just not going through because that metal disc has now been pushed up and the string has gone underneath that metal disc. And now it's trying to hit almost like a recess where, had it been on top of the metal disc, it would have easily passed through the other hole on the other side for you to pull the string through. So that was a bit frustrating, to have to kind of not just loosen the bolts enough for the string to pass through, but to take them off completely and ensure that that metal disc was not getting pushed up while the string tries to fight its way, underneath it. So again, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be glued down or that's just the way it was designed. But yeah, I kind of, again, the problem could have been alleviated if the brake angle after the nut was straight. But again, I'm not sure if that was, designed for, like I said, for tuning stability or sustain. But yeah, little bit annoying. Not a deal breaker by any stretch. And again, maybe somebody at Strandberg will see this and be like, oh no, that should not have been that. Those metal discs should have been glued at the bottom. But yeah, I might just buy some spare parts for this, especially the little Delrin washer, maybe some of the top hats. I can't imagine them being very expensive, but something to keep in mind. So in a long roundabout way of starting off with that G string slipping, The good news is I threw on the same gauge of strings. It was 10 to 46, different brand. I threw on some elixirs, and no issue with tuning now. I don't know if in setup when they fed this in, somehow the bowl end was sticking out a little bit and it was slipping, and it just wasn't seated properly in it. But I've had no tuning issues with it as of today. And last night it was literally you bent the G string and you were down to F sharp. So yeah, so now the guitar, in terms of the shortcomings it had out of the box, it's perfect. Other than the annoyance of potentially losing a Delrin washer and top hat and the metal pieces up there. But yeah, we're good to go for a few months until I decide to change the strings. I think this, now that I know how to use it, is less of an issue, because I think fundamentally, if you know how many rotations back or how many inches or centimeters you see down here, you should be good to go, where you can kind of like eyeball it and say, okay, no, don't go any further, because you're about to actually take the machine head off and lose those washers. And then, like I said, just pull down on it a little bit, just to angle the string up and over the string posts right here. And then, like I said, I think this was more of the annoyance, because you should just be able to thread the string through, and that's unfortunately not the case. But I would say overall, those minor inconveniences, withstanding, this is an amazing guitar. It kind of it kind of makes me want to see if they're going to do any more traditional guitars, in terms of not having fan frets, and kind of sticking to this price point. Yeah, I would love to see if this range takes off, and inflation doesn't kill the current price point. I would love to potentially get another one. Yeah, my favorite color is green, so I would love to have maybe like a slime green, or like a British racing green, maybe something like that. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it is bolt on. The fret access at the upper registry is amazing. Yeah, I would say, I don't know, that's probably like on par with like a Gibson set neck, or some of the neck through ESPs that I've got. Yeah, it's really not a really chunky heel on it. So again, I'm interested in seeing what I can kind of do with the pickups. I love the simple controls with it, with one volume, one tone. It is a 5-way selector switch, which kind of surprised me. I thought it would just be a 3-way. So you do have some of those, intermediary tones, in the 2 and the 4 position, that you can kind of get from a later model Strat, after they moved away from just the 3 position. So I'm again really impressed with it. The gig bag that it came with, I thought was neat looking. You kind of got the Swedish flag, right there. It says Strandberg in that kind of like hyper yellow color. Yeah, I super impressed with the packaging. I really liked the manual quite a bit. Kind of just to review all the pieces, of the bridge and how it works. And then the only other thing that it came with was there was a thank you card, which I'm sure for Strandberg owners you've probably seen it, which I thought was nice, from just kind of like a brand perspective, saying that we really value you as a customer. There was earplugs, which I thought was interesting, and it made from recycled ocean plastic. And then I think there was because I used it yesterday, there was a tool bag. So you get a couple Allen keys or hex keys, and then these 2 larger ones, which I'm assuming are to do truss rod adjustments. But yeah, I thought, I don't know, I'm super impressed, and the fact that sometimes, I'll get a new guitar and it's kind of shocking where you don't play it the next day, and it's kind of like, why did I buy that? And I'm really happy that kind of my initial reason for purchasing this was just like the curiosity of this neck, and yeah, uh, the lightweight factor, and yeah, I really liked the color, and yeah, the obviously the price point. Not a lot of people have, especially these days, have a lot of money to buy luxury goods such as guitars and things of that nature, and yeah, it didn't break the bank per se. And I think if somebody was to save up the money to buy one of these as either a second guitar or a fifth guitar, I think it'd be well worth it. Again, I'm really blown away by this neck. It's super comfortable. And for somebody that's played more traditional guitars most of their life, it didn't feel like a huge step to jump into the world of Strandberg. So yeah, I'll probably do some more demo stuff with it over the next couple weeks if anyone's interested in seeing more of how the guitar sounds, and maybe different genres of music. But incredibly happy. It's not often that I'll put up a video for or a guitar for a video review, and this one, yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about it last night, and then when I woke up, I dropped my daughter off at school, and came home. I've got some stuff to do today, but yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that yeah, you could do far worse for a guitar. This is one of the coolest guitars I think I've ever played. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and yeah,